Okay, thanks for joining us for part one of the Easy Website series. This is the 10-minute website setup, a quick guide to get your professional site up and running. Now, this isn't just for professionals. This could be if you have a club or a team or an organization and you want to set up a website. Again, the idea here is that you could pay a company probably hundreds of dollars just to do the basic setup for you, but we're going to go ahead and show you how to do that in about 10 minutes. So let me show you what you're going to end up with by the end of this little course. You're going to have a website that looks kind of like this. Using Bluehost and WordPress, we're able to create a quick, professional-looking website, in about 10 minutes. So let's cover what it is you're going to need for this website. First, you're going to need a domain name. So this is what we typically call your web address, and we're going to go into each of these in a little more detail in just a minute. You're going to need some web hosting. You're going to need a site platform, and you're going to need about 10 minutes. So first, a domain name, again, a web address. So this is www.whatever.com. When we're looking for these, we're going to prefer a .com, a .net, or a .org. These are pretty typical for businesses and organizations. You may have to get a little creative. The web's been around for a long time, and you have to register this name, and there can only be one of those. So, yourcompany.com or yourteam.com may not be available. You may have to get a little creative, but rest assured we will find you something good. You're also going to, again, have to register this address with the registration authority. That's just part of the whole deal, and it's to keep people from using each other's names. Very quick setup. And you may be able to get this for a lower cost when bundling along with your hosting. In fact, what we're going to show you here in a little while with Bluehost, you're actually able to get the first year for free. So let's go ahead and move on. Okay, you're also going to need web hosting. And again, just think of this is where your website lives. So somebody out there is keeping a nice big server up and running 24 hours a day so that visitors to your website or your blog don't have any downtime. So for smaller sites, like what we're building today, you can use really a low cost per month provider, again, such as Bluehost or HostGator. For personal sites, if you don't plan on really wanting to show a professional persona, you can use free hosting. Often that comes with ads or other things. They're not typically as flexible, but it is out there if you're just here tinkering around. Okay. Third, you're going to need a site platform. All we're really saying here is unless you want to learn to write code, you're really going to need some way to make your web pages, some way to build these pages. And most people don't want to learn how to code. Fortunately, you've come at a great time. There are lots of great platforms out there. Again, we're going to use WordPress. It's an easy-to-use free platform. It allows us to create a professional-looking site very quickly. And again, it allows you to keep the site updated and fresh without having to learn the code. It is a free platform, and it's used by about 20–25% of websites on the internet. And there are some biggies. I think I believe it's the New York Times, I believe Facebook. There's quite a few really large companies that use WordPress. And lastly, you're going to need 10 minutes. So let's get going. So for the rest of this, we're going to be following the website that you're already on. You can just leave that video playing if you want, so you can keep listening. And click down here, and what you'll see are the next steps for us to get started. So step one is for us to choose a domain name and web hosting. Those oftentimes come together. Now for this particular demonstration, we are going to use Bluehost. It's a host that we currently use and are pleased with. And so if you want to follow along step by step, you can either click this banner or click here. They'll both take you to the Bluehost website. Just a quick full disclosure, it doesn't cost you a dime, but they do provide us with a referral fee should you just choose to set up that way. If you would rather not, you can always just go to bluehost.com, or you can try one of the many other vendors such as HostGator, 1&1. There are, again, a variety of web hosting companies. There are also a couple free ones, although, again, they will have ads and that sort of thing. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to click on the banner right here. Okay, takes us to the Bluehost website. You're just going to click the green Get Started Now button. And that's going to take us to a page where we can review the plans. So I'll be honest, the setup, if you're doing this for a club or a team, the starter or the plus is probably just fine. If you plan on setting up more than one website, you're going to want to go with this plus because it allows you unlimited websites. Business Pro is probably a little much for you right now, but as your website gets popular, you may need to come back and upgrade this. So again, a lot of information here, but I'll tell you what it's saying. You've got plenty of space, plenty of bandwidth. you get the one free domain that we discussed. And so again, most of this other stuff you don't need to worry about right now. So for this demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and select the Plus plan, which is the most popular, in case I want to set up more websites later on. So once I click select here, again, you get a free domain name. So it's asking, what do we want that free domain name to be? Now again, you may need to be creative when thinking of this. So if you need to pause this and consider what different names you want for your website. But I will try my website. And it's already got .com here. Now, I don't really think this will be available. I want to show you what it's going to look like if you pick your first one and it's not available. Go ahead and click next. Okay, it's going to think for a second, and it's going to say, I'm sorry, my website.com is not available for registration. Someone else already owns it. It does give us some other options down here. You could certainly select one of those, or again, pause this, think of another domain or two. They are not case sensitive. So I will try 10-minute website setup. And actually I know this one is already taken because I have it, so I'm going to put a 1 on the end here for this demonstration, and I'm going to go ahead and click next. Bluehost is going to look to see if that one's available, and voila. So once you get a valid domain name, this is the page you're going to be on. Again, go ahead and pause it until you get to this page, and we'll be waiting for you. Great, now that you found the domain name, let's go ahead and fill out the required information. So again, this is going to be all of your information. It's helpful if this matches your billing address. Business name is optional. And you don't really need to watch filling this out. Again, I'm just filling it out for testing anyway. Okay. Go ahead and put a phone number. And you do need a valid email address, and you'll need to be able to check this email in just a couple minutes. All right, so this next piece, your package information, here again you have the chance to select whatever package it is you were wanting to pick. If you pick the Plus plan, that should be what's already populated, but go ahead and verify this is in fact the plan that you had picked. Okay, most of these other items down here, just to save you a few dollars, again, you can deselect most of these. The only one you may want to consider is the site backup, in case you don't want to worry about backing up your website every month. You can go ahead and check that, but these other items aren't that important for what it is we're doing. And then you go ahead and fill out your billing information, confirm that you've read the terms of service, cancellation policy, privacy domain, all of that good stuff. So you can pause it and take an hour or so to go through those, and then when you're ready, you're going to go ahead and click next. Okay, at this point you should get a welcome. So again, congratulations, you now own a domain name and a host. We're just a few minutes from having your website set up. Before you can do that, you do need to set up a password. So down here where it says create your password, you're going to go ahead and click on that button, and you'll need to create a password for your account. Now I went ahead and put in a bad password so that you could see all of the things that are required for your password. You will need a lowercase letter, an uppercase letter, a number, and a symbol. So it might be as simple as changing your first letter of your password to uppercase, and of course the rest being lowercase. Again, just throw a 1 or 2 at the end, and maybe an exclamation point or an @ sign. You can even generate a password for you, but it'll be very complex. So go ahead and enter your password and retype it to make sure that you don't forget it. Probably want to go ahead and write that down, and you click create. Okay, now once you've added that password, you should be getting an email that's going to have all that good information. But again, you've got your domain name, you've got your password. So now it's time for us to go to bluehost.com. I just typed in bluehost.com and came here. And we're going to go ahead and log in. So you see the login button over here. Sometimes it takes just a second. Okay, and this is a hosting login. That should be the default. And here's where you're going to put your domain name. So mine is 10-minute website setup. And make sure you put your top level domain, so .com, .net, .org, whatever you chose, and then you're going to go and put in your password. And this is the password you just created. And click submit. Okay, now that you're logged in, they're always going to put a few little things here for you. So I need to actually zoom out just there. So the first thing is, do you want some help? For this tutorial, I'm going to walk you through the rest. So you can just hit the X right here to close that. And let me zoom in just a hair so it makes it a little easier to read now. Okay, so now you are at your control panel, also called your C panel. And there's a lot of things here. Eventually we'll get through to show you what some of these do. But for this particular tutorial, we just need to go ahead and install WordPress. So again, WordPress is our platform. It's a very simple install. Don't want you to be intimidated by that. So we're going to go ahead and click Install WordPress. Okay, now as you see, it's very complicated at this point. Now we're going to click the Install button. And Bluehost is going to ask us, for which website are you going to install WordPress? Well, we just set up one domain, so it's going to be the website it's already picked here. Just verify this is your website. And we're going to click Check Domain. So I'm going to do a little check. Sometimes it can take a minute or so. Usually for me, in testing, it's taken maybe 30 seconds or so. There you go. And I really don't care about the advanced options right now. Again, the point of this is to show you how simple it is. So I'm going to go ahead, and if you want to read the terms and conditions of the GPL version 2, and select that when you've done so, and we will click Install. Now, while WordPress installs, you may get prompted with a couple ads. Again, this is a company. All of them do this, so we'll just have to fight off those ads. And while Bluehost installs, again, we'll see this little bar change. Sometimes an ad will pop up here. If it does, you can just click the X. You'll see an X or a Not Now button. And WordPress usually takes right about a minute to install. When it's finished, you're going to see that it'll tell us the install is complete. That's good news. Now what we need to do is view our credentials. So again, have a slip of paper ready. You have your username and password to manage your site. That's what we logged in with to install WordPress. Now we're going to create our WordPress password. So again, the great thing about the WordPress platform, it makes it very easy to make quick changes to our sites. So we're going to click on View Credentials. We are going to scroll down. And you'll probably only have one thing listed here that says your WordPress install is finished. And we're going to click View. I'm going to scroll down. And right here, it's going to give us our login information. This web address right here is what you'll always now use to manage your website. So we're going to go ahead and click that. Your username is just your email address. I'm going to go ahead and copy this password, but you could write it down if you want. It is case sensitive. So now we're ready to log into our WordPress so that we can make a couple quick changes to our website. Okay, so again, now we're going to log in with our email address that we used to sign up with. And I'm just going to paste that password right in there. And I'm going to tell it to log in. If you want it to remember you, so you don't have to remember that password, you can certainly do that. We'll go ahead and log into our WordPress website. Now at this point, 90% of the work is done. You've registered your domain name. You've set up your hosting. You've installed WordPress. Now we're just going to make a couple quick tweaks. So this is the WordPress interface. Again, there's tons of stuff here. You could probably spend a year learning WordPress, but we're going to go ahead and start with the very, very basics. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is change what we call your theme. That's WordPress's kind of preset designs. So if you hover over the word appearance here, you'll see it says themes. Go ahead and click on that. And because I promised, we will use this particular theme here. So there are lots of free themes for WordPress. There are plenty that you can purchase. For testing, I suggest you play around with one of the free ones. So we're going to use this 2013 theme, and we'll hit activate. Okay, the new theme is now active, and let me show you what that did. I'm going to go up here to the very top, and I'm going to say visit site. And you'll see that's made our website look a lot like the one I showed you we're going to create. Voila. So now what we're going to do is add just a couple quick customization things. In parts 2 and 3, we'll show you how to add pictures to your website. We'll show you how to add features such as boxes to collect email addresses and image sliders and that sort of thing. But for now, we're just going to change the title of the site. So I'm going to click back up here on your title where it says SS Site Title. You're going to go back to your dashboard. Click on that. Okay. Then we're going to go back to Appearance. We're going to go down to our header. Click on that. And we're going to change our, scroll back up here, our site title and tagline. So the title will be 10-minute WordPress, 10-minute website setup. And maybe we'll put fast, easy, inexpensive. And again, you could put whatever you like here. As you see, it takes just a second. Okay, it's now saved, so I'm going to click the X here. This will take us back to our dashboard. And the last thing we're going to change is some of the middle content. And that happens to be in this area called Posts. We're going to view all of our posts. Right now there's only a single post, that's Hello World. That's the main content of the page that we saw earlier. And we'll click on Edit. And you can put whatever you like. So we will put Welcome. And down here, dismiss that. Down here we will say, thank you for visiting our site. Please come back soon. Okie dokie. And I'm going to click Update. Alright, and so now we've updated our header title, site tagline, and we've also updated kind of our primary post. So the last thing we're going to do, so you only have to do this one time. It tells us our site is currently displaying a coming soon page because they don't know if our page is ready. In this case, we'll say our page is ready to launch, and we'll click that button right there. And now our site is live, active. Anybody in the world can type in our web address, and then we'll get our website. And so let's go ahead and take a look at that. So to do that, we're going to minimize. I'll tell you what, we'll just bring up Google Chrome. And we will, okay, let's try again, www. There we go. And you will see that our page is live and active for anybody in the world to see. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and change more of that, you see there is our heading and our tagline and our first post. So there you have it. Again, we should have parts 2 and 3 posted soon, so I hope you've enjoyed this particular piece.